At some point, every dealer principal or general manager has the exact same internal conversation. You have to decide to build your business development center internally or hand the operation over to an outside partner. The initial reaction almost always points inward. You want your people, your distinct dealership culture, and absolute visibility over who is picking up the phone. Yet, running that department on a daily basis rarely matches the ideal. You end up managing constant staffing headaches, coverage gaps during peak hours, and wildly fluctuating show rates. Keeping the operation inside the building satisfies the desire for physical proximity, but it creates a massive blind spot in operational planning. Prioritizing geographic control over a consistent, reliable system results in a quiet, continuous leak in revenue through unhandled volume and dropped leads. When operations leaders map out the budget for an internal team, they typically look at the hourly wage of 2 or 3 agents, multiply it by a 40-hour week, and stop there. Let's run the actual math required for a single-point store processing 500 to 700 inbound calls a month. This chart shows the true expense structure, starting with core payroll. Employer taxes and health benefits increase base costs by 30%. Add technology, call recording, CRM, and dialer software. Finally, turnover costs thousands per agent in interviewing, onboarding, and diverted management hours. Add those layers together, and a mid-volume dealership is routinely spending between $120,000 and $180,000 a year to run an internal BDC. Dealers consistently undercount their true spend by nearly half because they budget for perfect conditions and ignore the daily friction of software licenses, management bandwidth, and coverage gaps. The most severe problem with internal teams is structural inconsistency. This graph shows dealership appointment performance over time. That flat line at the top represents your baseline operations when fully staffed. Across the automotive industry, phone agents leave these roles at a rate of 35 to 40% annually. The moment a highly skilled agent leaves the building, they take their high conversion rate with them. You hire a replacement, but getting a new agent up to that previous baseline of productivity takes 60 to 90 days of training on your exact scripts and processes. That 90-day transition creates a massive blind spot. Calls go to voicemail, outbound follow-ups get dropped, and appointments were missed while someone learns on the job. Relying strictly on a small internal model means your closing ratio is tied precariously to the career choices of individual people, rather than relying on a resilient system. An external partner provides a systemic solution to inconsistency. You are no longer buying individual headcount. You are plugging your store into a pre-built, running infrastructure with tested scripts, ongoing quality assurance, and trained agents. The immediate concern for most operators is that an outside agent won't note the inventory. By integrating directly with your CRM and DMS during onboarding, external agents have real-time access to your top models, incentives, and exact pricing structure. Then there is the coverage advantage. Your overflow volume, weekends, evenings, and sick days are absorbed instantly by the partner, without triggering a single hour of overtime pay. Specialized nearshore teams align their cost structure directly with dealership show rates. Instead of carrying idle staff during slow periods, you play for defined coverage. An external partner converts a rigid payroll liability into a flexible performance asset that scales smoothly alongside your actual floor traffic. The most successful mid-size operators don't treat this as an all-or-nothing choice. They utilize a blended model. In this setup, your internal staff focuses exclusively on the highest value inbound traffic during peak hours, enabling immediate, warm handoffs to the sales floor. Your external partner takes over the heavy lifting. They aggressively process the overflow calls, handle the after-hours traffic, and execute massive outbound campaigns for unsold lead recovery and service recalls. Dividing the labor this way prevents your internal team from burning out, while guaranteeing that high-volume, low-engagement tasks are still executed with systematic precision. The blended approach maximizes your return on investment. You apply relationship-driven internal staff to your hottest leads, and direct systemic external volume to everything else. To evaluate this fairly, we have to acknowledge that running an entirely internal department remains the correct strategic choice under specific conditions. If you operate a group with 5 or more rooftops, you have the scale to build dedicated training infrastructure, career pathing, and full-time corporate management. Certain luxury manufacturers also strictly mandate on-site call handling to preserve specific brand experience certifications. Scale flips the economics. Without multiple locations to distribute the massive overhead, trying to replicate that infrastructure inside a single store is a highly inefficient allocation of capital. If you operate a single point or mid-sized group, you can evaluate the health of your current operation with 3 questions. This scorecard outlines the diagnostic. First, does annual turnover exceed 25%? Second, are you answering fewer than 85% of inbound calls? Third, is your dedicated manager seat vacant? If yes, quality degradation is unavoidable. Holding on to an in-house model just because it feels comfortable obscures the reality of your data. You have to prioritize the metrics that actually matter. The right operational model is whichever system consistently answers the phone, sets the appointments, and puts more gross profit on the board.